What's up, gang? It's Chris Angel coming at you for another episode of Marketing for the Rest of Us. Sorry, this is a little bit busy here. Hang on. Trying to pull the phone out. There we go. Nice. Yeah, sorry about the old thumb in the face. So we're talking about sponsoring an event tonight, or sponsoring an event. That's what we're talking about tonight. And this topic came up because I had visited one of our agency clients at their store today, and they're sponsoring an event next week. And so their question was, do you have any advice? Do you have any advice for me when we have a chance to speak at the event? And I've done this before. I've sponsored the same event. I've spoken there numerous times, and you get probably 3 minutes, 4 minutes. So the question is like, well, what do I say? So I wanted to share that answer here with you, not only for them, because I'm going to send this to them. This, by the way, it's a great way to create content, right? Answer people's questions in your content. Then you can send them that content, but it also benefits everybody else. Okay, so I want to answer that question for them, but I also want to give it to you. Whether it's sponsoring something and you have 4 minutes, or you're sponsoring something and you get 30 minutes. Or maybe you're just in a conversation with somebody at the coffee shop in line and you're talking to them for 3 minutes. Either way, the principle is the same. So what typically happens is people get up and they talk about their product or service. Like, this is what I do. This is how long we've done it. And there's a lot of describing of the service or the product, the widget, the technicalities of it all. The problem with that is it doesn't create a frame for how people can relate to it or should relate to it, right? So if I got up and I said, well, I have a marketing agency and we do interviews with people so that they don't have to worry about what to say, and I sort of describe what it is my company does, there's no frame for them to relate to why that matters to them. So you always have to start with what is the problem. It could be what is their problem, the one sitting in the room listening to you. Could be what is their problem. It could also be what is the problem in society. What's the problem in general? What's the problem that everybody overlooks? Now, as you get better and better at this, what happens is you start to say the things that nobody else is actually saying. So when I talk about marketing, I actually talk about how most people in marketing teach all the SEO and algorithm stuff and technology, and you got to post 5 to 7 times a day. And what happens for us in this tribe is we get overwhelmed by our to-do list. And so not only are we overwhelmed by our to-do list, but if we actually got the courage, right, carved out the time, settled down in our bodies to think about what to say for a moment, a minute, 5 minutes on camera, we shut down. So not only are we overwhelmed by the technology, but we also, if we did get the courage, we don't know what to say. So by this point, if I say those two problems, right? Technology is a societal problem. It's a problem we all face in this tribe, right? The society of this tribe. We don't like technology. You have to figure out what's going on with your tribe as a society, okay? What's the overall general opinion or attitude or frustration out there with people in general, right? Plural. Then you've got to bring it into their specific problem, right? If you're in this tribe and you have the thing is, I know that you have a message to say. You have something important to say, but you just keep not saying it because you get tongue-tied, or you think that what you have to say is too complicated, and so you never share. Every time I say this to people, my tribe hears it. My tribe's like, oh, you have got me. You got my number, man. Like, you understand me. You see me. I have felt like I have something to say, but I don't know what to do. I don't like technology. I get tongue-tied. So there are two problems we're addressing here. One is like, what's the big general problem that your tribe is facing as a community or society, right? And the second one is, what's the problem of the person who would actually buy from you? What is their problem? The problem they don't tell anybody, right? Most people don't go walk around in business and say, hey, I don't know, I feel tongue-tied about stuff, so I'm not going to market. We don't say that to the world. We think it all the time to ourselves, but we don't let others in on that. So when you can address people's specific problems that they say to themselves and don't tell anybody, now you've got my attention and you've created a frame. You've created a frame, right? now I can hear what you're about to say. And anything you say after that, especially if you go into what it is you help people do or what it is your products and services are and why that helps them, now they can listen to what that is. Because anything you say after the frame, right, is part of how we're solving the problem. Okay, so while I'm not giving you specifics, I am giving you principles to look at, right? I'm saying look at the problem generally and look at the problem specifically. And then say those things first, then you can go into what it is you specifically do, because what you do is a solution or to those problems, right? It solves those problems. This works, gang, whether you're talking to somebody one-on-one, right, in a coffee shop or at a networking event. This also works if you're sponsoring an event at a table, at a booth. This works if you're sponsoring an event and you get to speak in front of people. All that's happening here is we're creating context, right? You could use the word frame, but we're creating context for what it is we do so that people can actually hear us. And what's cool, it's not that they can hear, it's not just that they can hear us, but it's that they feel seen and heard. Most people who sponsor events don't do the work to help others feel seen and heard. What most sponsors do at events is they talk about themselves and their product. They do a walk around, they do a show and tell, they do a whatever. Feature benefit, feature benefit, feature benefit. But when you start with the problem in such a way that they feel seen and heard, it changes the entire exchange, the entire dynamic. And then, like I said, anything after you create the frame and the context is easier to hear, because I'm listening for how what you're telling me solves the problem you've already seen in me. Okay, gang, that is it. This is intermediate to advanced. It's not quite advanced. We're talking definite intermediate, not beginner level marketing stuff. But if you'd like help getting to that place, my 6-week program is exactly the playground we go to develop that skill. Okay, so that you can create a frame, create context in a moment's notice. If you had 2 minutes to speak, you could do that, because the 6-week program actually teaches you how to do that. So if you'd like to apply for that the next upcoming program, it's called the Groundswell Method Intensive. Go to groundswellmethod.com, watch the free video, and on the last page of the free video is an application. Thanks, gang, for hanging out with me here tonight. Until tomorrow when we go live again, here's to you dialing in your sound bites and being able to speak to people's problems and pains quickly. See you tomorrow.